What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host, Tony Scorpio, and my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is episode number 125. 125. Today we got a few different things that we're going to be talking about. There's been a lot happening. Especially with like EWC and just in the gaming world in general. We're starting to go into Q4 here, so there's a lot of talks about new games and what they're gonna be, when they're gonna come out. So good stuff coming on that avenue. Q4 is always a really busy time in the gaming world as far as like game releases, because everyone's trying to get everything released before Christmas, so that when Christmas time rolls around, people be wanting to get the games. So I think we should.
Christmas and Black Friday, the two most important dates.
Yep. Yipper. Alrighty, let's pull this up. So we can talk about our first topic. Let me. Oh, yes, always. This always be the one that works like
Hold
that.
it up.
Hold it up. There we go. Beautiful. Alrighty. Deception,
Boom.
take the lead.
Optic won EWC. Don't know if that was a surprise to anybody or not, but they did.
Definitely not after the performance of Champs.
Yeah, it basically went exactly the same way that Champs did. Not really any competition. It was the only competition they had is they had one match in group play that they had to reverse sweep, but like other than that, it was smooth sailing.
Yeah, I mean, Optic really like proved their dominance once again. I think they're just like their comeback this season was pretty monumental. One could say, just because of how bad they were doing.
Well, I mean, in the qualifiers, at one point they were like 0-18 map count.
Yeah, like how do you go from 0-18 to back-to-back world champions, and then also winning not only CW World Champs but EWC?
It's like that's the crazy part is like they're. I mean, like we said when after they won Champs, it was like there was a real possibility that if they
100%.
stayed on the trajectory they were on, they were going from a top 3 team to not making Champs at all. And Optic just completely missing out on Champs. And then they pick up Mercules because he subbed in for Toronto at that one event and did super well. And then Toronto decided to stick with their team instead of keeping Merc, even though he catapulted them to a better finish than they had all season. Optic picks him up. Like, I remember, like, everybody was wondering what was going to happen with Merc. They were like, oh, he's almost 100% going to get picked up by a team. Like, people were thinking maybe Falcons would try to pick him up because at the time, Falcons were still trying to go with their all-Saudi team, and it was not going well. People thought that maybe like somebody like Rocker or Cloud9 or maybe the Gentlemates would pick him up. And then there was this crazy rumor that popped up out of nowhere that Optic was going to pick him up, and everybody was like, wait a minute, this could either make or break this team. And it has went from Optic almost not making Champs at all and not being able to even compete to they won Champs in one of the most dominant Champs events that there's been. And they just won EWC in way more dominant fashion than FaZe won it last year.
The process coming out after this season is gonna go hard. I'm ready for it.
It's gonna be insane. Like, I really hope that process is like at least like an hour to an hour and a half long.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it like captures everything from this season. Because this season for Optic has just been unbelievable.
Oh yeah. Like,
This is probably like the
truly.
craziest season a team has ever went through in COD history.
From going 0-14. They were like 0.
They literally went from like coming off winning champs, looking like a really good team at the beginning of BO6. Looked like if they made like maybe like a small adjustment here or there, they'd be like the best team in the game still.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thieves was the only team that they were going against probably the whole time. And then the whole thing happened with Pred and him like leaving and then coming back. They didn't do well with him and they left again. And like they were rotating between a bunch of players. Like they picked up Hook for a little bit, and then they dropped him off when Pred came back, and then they picked him back up when Pred left again. Like
Mm-hmm.
they tried playing with Skies for a little bit. Like
They tried They
they
tried so
they
much.
were going through it as far as like it was almost like the Optic Dark Ages 2.0 in
Yeah.
the middle of the season. And then they pick up Merc from Challengers, and it's like I saw a tweet. Let me see if I can find it while I'm talking about this. But I saw a tweet, and I sent it to you,
Let me see.
and it sums it up pretty well.
All right. Let me see if I can find it.
Let me find it. It says Beans tweeted one border agent made possibly one of the best
Oh yeah.
iterations of any COD team of all time.
Uh-huh.
And they say that because one of Ultra's players, I think it might have been Insight. I don't remember which one it was. But one of Ultra's players was having visa issues, and that's why Merc got brought to that event anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And we all were like, yeah, they said this kid's good, but like, is he really that good? Like, this is gonna be his first LAN. Like, he's never been on like super notable challenger teams outside of like, he was on the Stallions for a bit, and then Zuma dropped him, and then like, he goes to that event and he plays super well. They choose to stick with their team instead of picking Merc up, and then that one border agent that was being difficult about Ultra's visas just created probably the craziest pop-up really good COD team ever.
Yep. Hey, he deserves a promotion actually. But I mean, all in all, like, I don't think anyone's really expecting this turnaround, and the fact that it happened. I mean, it was just like all the pieces of the puzzle fit together just in the right time, and they were able to just take it forward. Which,
Well, and the fact that they won EWC just solidifies
oh yeah,
the fact that this team is legitimately good and it wasn't just like a fluke.
yeah,
Because I think there was like a little bit of fear in a lot of our minds when they went to EWC that like maybe this team was just a fluke and that they wouldn't do well. Maybe they'd be back to their old ways from earlier in the season and they would flop at EWC.
yeah,
Or maybe best case scenario, it's like one of the teams like Phaser Thieves like picks up the pieces from champs and ends up getting revenge at EWC. But that didn't happen. Because as we'll talk about roster mania, but like Thieves did not do all that well at EWC. But they did a lot better than FaZe. FaZe actually got eliminated in pool play. They did not even make it to the final bracket.
yeah. Which honestly,
Which is shocking.
I think I think it's shocking, but I feel like it needed to happen. I mean, this FaZe team has been so dominant since the beginning of the CDL that I think they kind of like got comfortable in that, right? In that team and just being like so dominant that they kind of like lost it, I think, a little bit. So I think shaking it up a little bit kind of
Yeah, I
forced
think after
them.
Cold War and after they had, even though they didn't win, they only won, I think, like one event in Vanguard. But after they were dominant in Cold War and after they were so consistently good in Vanguard, constantly making grand finals,
Yeah.
I feel like they just kind of expected to be the best team in the game.
Yeah.
And they were kind of the best team in the game in MW3 for a while. But then, like, other teams caught up and surpassed them. And in this game, they just could never find their footing all the way. He was like, they did win 2 events, but like,
They
the
had the
start of the season was
potential.
rocky for them. The end of the season was rocky for them.
Yeah. Like they should have been in that final
Like,
bracket. The fact that they weren't, I feel like that was like the only thing that was going to force a roster change for them though, is if they lost that badly and that consistently at the end.
I honestly kind of expected it though after champs.
Yeah.
Like,
It just
after champs, I was like, this FaZe team's either going to win this event or they're going to get knocked out kind of early and they're going to make a change. And they got knocked out a lot earlier than I think everybody expected them to. I mean, it was the worst finish to an event. It was the worst placing for Cell and Abizi since BO4. And it was Simp's worst finish ever. So,
I mean that just goes to show and to prove that sometimes the team like you can get complacent when you're winning all the time. But I'm glad it did kind of force that shake up because now it kind of distributes the league a little bit more. Um, build some depth in it, I guess. Because it looks like they broke up the whole thing.
oh, with some of the Rostermania talks, the league is going to look very different
Yeah,
outside of Optic.
yeah, which that's crazy. Um, I just that's just I don't know.
The
I kind
league
of
is going to look very different, and even the one team besides Optic that we didn't think would make a change, turns out they might.
oh LA Thieves.
They might.
Yeah, there's
There's been
definitely
a number
talks.
of rumors about who could possibly go to the Thieves.
Yeah, there's talks about Ghosty getting off the roster, Envoy getting off the roster, who could replace them, and I mean,
Yeah, there's been talks of like Celium showing up.
Beezy, Joe,
There's been
Neptune.
talks of Abuza, Joe Deceives. Um, like it's looking interesting, to be honest.
Yeah. So,
Um,
and then Major Maniac finally retired too. So, I mean, honestly, I kind of forgot he was still there. I forgot that he was still gone. I thought he retired already, but
he's been playing in challengers for a while.
that's what
He
I thought.
hasn't. Um, ever since he got dropped from FaZe after MW19 um, when they had to go to 4v4 over 5v5 and him
Mm,
and Priesta got dropped from FaZe, it was like they kind of had two different trajectories because like Priesta and him were kind of looking like they were in the same boat where they both were off of FaZe, who was so consistently good in MW19, and then they didn't really do that well when they went
mm,
their own separate ways. But then it's kind of like they turned out completely opposite after Cold War, because then Priesta goes to NYSL and they slowly climbed to the point where they won champs in 2022 or 2023, and then Major Maniac just kind of didn't really do anything after that. I
no.
mean, um, he it's kind of sad because I remember when he was like one of the top prospects. Like he joined FaZe in BO4.
Mm,
Um, and everybody was like, "This guy's on phase," like, but he was actually like he was really good.
Hmm.
Um, just after he got dropped by phase, he just didn't really go anywhere, and he'd been in challengers trying to make something happen, and it just never did. And now he's retired.
Well, I mean, I think it's good though. I mean, some people need to know when to like call it, and he just couldn't get back into the pro scene. And I feel like he was one of those players that should have been, consistently in that spot and wanted to be consistently in that spot. Well, you kind of have to
Yeah.
know when it's time to bow out. Like, I mean, Scump could have played for another few years at the highest level, and still,
Scumps actually said, it's funny you talk about Scump because Scump said recently that he almost stepped up to save this Optic team in BO6, and he himself said that he was good at BO6, so he could have possibly. It would have been crazy if Scump was Scump was in Merc's position, but
I mean, he could have though. He still has it. Like, it's not like they still would have done well.
oh, he definitely still has it. I honestly, I don't think he will. I don't think he would do it because I don't think he would want to compete unless it was um, going back to play in the CDL.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of wish he would try to play Warzone competitively because he's really good at Warzone.
I mean, he's just good at like fundamental COD and knowledge and just the way that the game works, and that just like gives him the upper hand
He's
in those
really good.
situations. Yep, he's the
He is
goat.
still got it.
He is and will always be one of the
I
best
I I
players.
think it's debatable whether Scump is in terms of CDL is like the goat of Call of Duty, but I definitely think that no matter what, he has the most raw talent out of anybody that's ever played the game.
Yeah, he's definitely in like the top 5 of all time. 100%.
You also, speaking of like talking about goat conversations, you also have to wonder, is Shotzi now the greatest controller FPS player of all time?
I mean, he does have multiple titles in different games, so if
Well, you look at he has a ring in Halo. He has 3 rings in COD. So does Hook. Hook has a ring in Halo. Hook has 2 rings in COD now.
yeah, I feel like Shotzi's more consistent though. Like Shotzi's like consistently like at the top, and Hook is kind of like he has his good years and then he has his bad years.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the weird thing about this team, and why I think next season they're either going to be really good or they might fall off. Is like Hook has his up and down years, like you said, and it's like there's been some years where he's like been really good, and then years where he has been bad. Like he was not great at MW3,
No,
and that's why he ended up, not sticking with Optic and not really doing that well all season, on any team. Is like he just wasn't really that good at that game. But then he shows up, he's in challengers and BO6, and he's really good. Like he's like genuinely like probably top 5 player in the whole game, and he comes to this team and he proves it. So it's just like, what Hook are we going to get next season?
yeah, I mean that's kind of like the wild card with this team is Hook, but I think as long as he can like perform at the game, I don't know. I feel like with this team and how like nerdy they are, I think that's like a good word for it. I think that kind of environment
With that, and
will
this
help him.
team's pacing is just insane.
Yeah.
And Hook has done really well traditionally in games that have super fast pacing. And this team's pacing is just unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
They play the game so fast.
You blink and it's over.
And like that's what you had to do in this game. And I feel like honestly, with like the rumors with the rumors about like what the movement's going to be like in Black Ops 7, I feel like it's going to be even more prevalent. So like who knows, maybe this team is just unstoppable in BO7 and they have like a better season than FaZe had in Cold War. Like who knows.
I mean, I don't want to jinx it because we kind of started saying that after the last team, but could possibly cement a new dynasty. I mean, if they keep this team back-to-back years and they make something happen here, because it seems like Dashy is going kind of into the prime of his career. I mean, he's just
Dashy is definitely in his prime.
so
He is ever since Scum stepped down for Dashy to step up in Scum's own words, like Dashy is just he's
he
become
has stepped up.
the elite player that everybody knew he could be, and he just never fully reached his potential, and now he has, and he is unstoppable.
Yep. So
Dashy is so good.
it's gonna be something to enjoy next year. Well, next COD. Well, this coming year, I guess I should say. Or term relevant, well, term accuracy. Or, I don't know. Words are hard.
I'm excited to see what Merc does because I genuinely like.
He's
There, there was a comment. I don't remember. I think it was Octane that said it, but um, I heard a clip of Octane where he was like, "Who would have thought the best player in the league was just sitting in challengers the whole time?"
me. I mean, there really is no. There really is really. It's really hard to get out of the challengers. I mean, that's kind of been an issue with the league this entire time. It's just like a challenger to like pro pipeline is just not. It's very difficult. Like, you really.
I mean, Merc has proven the worth of looking at challengers and getting challengers players, but like, it's just the thing is
You get one shot.
because there's no competition between CDL and challengers outside of like random scrims, you don't really get a chance to look at these guys, and you have to have some crazy circumstance like what happened with Ultra to be able to see the potential in these players.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think EWC has done a good job of bridging that gap a little bit because I can guarantee you at least one or two of those omit players that took out FaZe, I can almost guarantee you they're going to be in the league. It
Oh,
is going to be
100%.
criminal if
100%.
a team doesn't pick up at least a couple of those guys or even the whole team.
I mean,
Because those
honestly,
omit guys are really good.
I mean, but the thing is they get like one shot most of the time. Most of the time, they get like one shot, one like stage to really just prove themselves, and if they don't, then they get sent back down.
Well, that's the thing is like that's kind of understandable because of how fast COD moves, but it's like look at what happened to Merc. Like they gave him one shot to prove himself, and he just turned this whole team around.
Yeah, I mean, like there's that kind of like there's that opportunity, but
That's not going to happen every time, and I wouldn't expect that every time. But like Merc is a good example of
it's possible.
a guy that was really hungry and really wanted to prove himself. Went to an event, played really well. Team picked him up. Team that was desperately in need of something to jolt them into existence again. And Merc just like has just took the reins of this team and just led them to the promised land.
True, true, true. I cannot argue with you. I cannot argue with you on that. I'm saying that right? I cannot argue with you on that. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so next is kind of talking about, the Dead by Daylight, would you say? Dead by Daylight, Walking Dead chapter, um, which looks sick. I wish.
Yeah, it launched last week.
Yeah, let's take a look. See. Let me pop that down actually. Um, but I mean, you've got Rick, you've got Michonne, you've got Daryl. You know, the three
Yep.
main well, three of the main characters, other than like Carol. But
I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up making a Carol skin for Michonne, but that
I
would
don't know.
look a little weird.
That would look really
Although
weird.
Daryl is a legendary skin for Rick, so
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. So I'm gonna let you take the lead on this. I have to go get some water because my voice is starting to get a little screwy.
yeah, this chapter is really cool. This coming after the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter, like the summer that DBD has had has been kind of insane in terms of popularity because I think in the past they usually in between chapters they usually will hover around 40 to 50,000 players. It might go up to 60 or maybe 70,000 concurrent players when a new chapter comes out. But when the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter dropped, it catapulted to 105,000, broke the player count record, and ever since then it has stayed around 75 to 80,000, which is kind of insane that they've retained that amount of players compared to normal. And then this chapter came out, and I mean, I don't think the player count really was affected that much by this chapter, but I think a lot of that is due to like all the bugs. And that's kind of hindered the chapter, but the chapter overall is really good.
Yeah, I'll have to like play a little
But
bit. I kind of
the
want to
only
just buy
issue
the
is the
skin.
bugs.
How many? What are the bugs?
The bugs and what Hug said, the map sucks.
Map
The
sucks.
new map is bad.
Aw.
So the thing about the map is it looks cool because you see on the trailer, it's like they're running into like a broken down version of like the hospital. But
Yeah.
that's like that little area that you see in the trailer is like the only thing on the map. Like, okay, so the whole map drama that's happened is when they announced this chapter initially and they put the PTB out so we could test it. They initially said that there was going to be a new map. Um and then during the PTB, when the PTB like went out after the announcement, they changed their wording to that this was going to be a new tile in a map where as long as you were playing as one of those two or three characters, that it would just spawn in any map. And everybody was like, okay, that's kind of weird. It's like you have to play one of these characters for this specific thing to spawn. That's kind of odd. And then, so people were like so confused because then when they got on the PTB, it was a new map. Everybody was like, okay, so it's a new map. But the thing is I think, I think that even the developers were indecisive on what they wanted to do because this quote unquote new map is essentially just this. There's like three other like tiles in the entire map, and there's the Killer Shack, and that's it. It is the most open, like just boring, spaceless map ever. It's so weird. Like the map makes no sense.
Huh.
And then on top of that, this chapter released, and there were some other like balancing things that happened. Some bursts got changed, and that's created a number of bugs. The first bugs that we encountered were not with the perks, and it was more there was a bug where killers couldn't get in chase. So if the killers can't activate the chase, they can't activate bloodlust to make themselves faster if they've been in a chase for a while. So they have no help in chase. And then that bug got fixed, but then there were there were some bugs with some perks. Like one of them is there's a perk called Streetwise that makes it to where anytime you deplete all the charges of an item, you can see the killer's aura. But if you get an item out of a chest, it has plus 80% charges, so it has 80% more charges than it normally does. Um, there was a bug where you could just infinitely just keep grabbing the item you got out of the chest, switching it, swapping it with your current item, and just do that over and over and over again. And you would essentially get like basically infinite charges on an item.
Oh,
So
okay.
it only worked with toolboxes, medkits, and flashlights, but it was like you could have a toolbox that if you got one of the really good ones, you could do a gen by yourself in like 40 seconds instead of 90 seconds. Um, if you got a medkit that was good, you just infinitely heal yourself and your teammates forever at a much faster speed than normal. And if you got a flashlight, this was less annoying than the other two, less game breaking. But you could just infinitely flashlight the killer without really any consequences. So there was that. There was a bug with Blood Rush, which makes you, once you get unhooked, if you press a button, you can get rid of your exhaustion. So you can use perks that make you sprint and run 50% faster than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bug where, with that perk, where not only would you would start recovering from exhaustion while running, which is not supposed to be a thing. There was also a bug where you could just infinitely sprint 50% faster. So like you're just never going to get caught because you're running faster than the killer at that
So
point.
what I'm hearing is that these bugs make it suck to be the killer.
What you're hearing is that every time behavior releases something cool with DBD, things like this happen. Where every time they have a major update, there's some like thing that breaks the game for one side or the other or both sides, and it makes it really not fun to play. And
Yeah.
then and then they fix it, and then here in a couple more months, whenever they do the next major update, it's something's probably gonna be broken again. Like honestly, like the way that Streetwise works now, where it gives you more charges if you get an item out of a chest. I would not be surprised if that's a recurring bug where you can just get unlimited charges. I would not be surprised if every couple updates that bug just pops up again.
Yeah.
But like the good thing is that um they did release a patch today that fixed all of those issues. And everything's fine now. There was also a new perk that comes with Michonne that gave you a unique vault animation, and it used to make you vault faster, which wasn't supposed to happen. They fixed that. They fixed the bugs with all the perks. Everything should be fine now. But it definitely was a rocky launch for this chapter, and especially considering it being such a big chapter, um, it's not great. Especially because, like I said, they've had a crazy summer because they had Five Nights at Freddy's release in June, and they broke the player count record for the game. Most players ever play in this game, which we knew that
Wow.
was going to happen. But then they have consistently held like 50% more players than they normally do in between patches. And then they drop this, which is another huge license to get, and it goes that badly. It's like, ooh, that did not go very
Doesn't
well
look
for them.
good. Yeah. Not looking too good.
I mean, but overall, it's cool. I really like the characters. Like whether it's Rick and Daryl or Rick and Michonne or like whatever combination of characters, they have a lot of really cool interactions. Like there aren't a lot of characters in this game that will like talk to each other. Well, there aren't a lot of characters that have voice lines, period. But like there was only like one other instance of like characters talking to each other on the survivor side, but it was only like in the main menu. But in this, if you meet up with one of the other characters, even for like a split second, you two will like briefly talk to each other.
That's cool.
There's a lot of voice lines.
That is
Like I
cool.
remember there was one time when I had just gotten unhooked and I was playing Rick and Hugs was playing Michonne. And I went over to a gin that Hugs was on. And when I got on the gin, Michonne was like, "What kind of trouble did you get into?" And Rick was like, "I don't know."
It's funny. I like that. I like that because it's like I don't know, like brings the show into the game more.
I love all the voice lines. I really hope that like they keep doing characters that have voice lines because the voice lines make this game so much more interactive than it
Yeah.
used to be.
I mean, hopefully that's like maybe that's like a new thing that they're trying out and trying to see how well it's going.
I know that a lot of people really like the voice lines and that they've had discussions about adding voice lines into all the characters, the old characters that are already in the game. Um, I know he wasn't the first character to have voice lines, but he was the first to have super extensive voice lines. When they released Nick Cage in the game, he recorded like almost 200 voice lines for the
Mm.
game. Like he has so many voice lines that like I will hear one now 2 years after he came out that I've never heard before. He has
Nice.
tons of voice lines.
That's sick. Man, I need to play more DBD, I think. Well, I got half my new PC right now. So once I get the other half, I'll be able to play games better in my PC. Right now it's kind of difficult. I can't like stream and play anything on my PC at the moment because it just crashes. So, but we're working
Wow,
on
I'm
it.
in the same boat. I can't have my other half to play DBD because Hugs was on vacation.
Dang, Hugs. Where'd you go this time?
We've gotten very limited DVD time.
Hugs, why do you keep doing this to Deception? He's a lonely guy.
She doesn't fall for me. She said she doesn't fall for deception.
Ooh. Dang. That's rough, buddy. That's an Avatar The Last Airbender reference for you old nerds out there. Alright. Well, Deception is a perk. Hey, we've played twice already. Well, see, look at that. You guys already played twice.
True.
So,
But usually we play like every day.
that's true. You guys do play every day. Alright. Now, the topic that Deception has been waiting so patiently for. Battlefield 6.
Dude, I'm excited for this game. I'm not gonna lie.
I miss my duo. Aw, you guys. Aw, I miss my duo.
I watched the reveal for this game, and it looks really good. Like, I'm excited for anybody that participated in Battlefield Labs, which I did not, or anybody that watched the stream when they revealed it. You'll be able to play tomorrow for early access. And if you watch streams tomorrow that have drops for like I think it's like half an hour, you can also get a beta code, so you won't miss much.
Nice.
But this game looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie. I've never really been like super into Battlefield. Like I played quite a bit of Battlefield 4, but that's about it. A little bit of 2042. I played the beta for that. Ugh. Ugh. I know that game's gotten better, but man, the beta was
It was
rough.
rough. It was rough.
It was rough. But yeah, I was watching this game and it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. Like one of the big things that I had problems with as far as Battlefield goes is I felt like the gunplay was always like just a little wonky. Like the guns felt a little clunky. There was always something about them that just like I don't know. It just didn't have quite the smoothness that games like COD do. But I was watching gameplay for this when they had the multiplayer event after the reveal. Gunplay looked real good. It looked really fun. You're gonna have the classic like 32v32 gameplay that Battlefield is known for. Like,
Mhm.
huge maps, 64 players, lots of destruction, vehicles, um, people like Tim the Tap Man blowing up helicopters, not like with a rocket launcher, but trying to fly one and then blowing it up. Um, and then, but this is what really got me, and what I'm excited for tomorrow when I play the beta. This is what got me. I did not know that this was coming until I was watching people play it. They switched to this. They switched to this mode. They switched to domination on one of the maps, and all of a sudden, it looked like the game just sped up because it looked like people were getting in gunfights constantly.
Mhm.
So they have added, along with the 32v32 stuff, the large scale all out warfare that they call.
Yeah.
That's what Battlefield's known for.
Mhm.
Um, they have added 4 8v8 modes on smaller chunks of their maps.
Hmm.
And it basically is like they have basically done the reverse of when COD put out 32v32 ground war. Battlefield was like, you guys want faster paced? Okay, you can play smaller maps 8v8.
Oh. AV8's still like a lot of people though. It's usually like it's
Yeah, but it looked
6v6.
really fun. Like, I was watching people play it, and it looked like
Oh, I'm not
it
hate.
looked
I'm not
like
hating. I'm not
if
hating.
you
Trust.
wouldn't if you wouldn't have put the if you wouldn't have put the HUD on the screen, if I hadn't seen the HUD and known it was Battlefield, if you'd have taken the HUD off the screen and you just shown me that without any knowledge of what it was, I'd have been like, "What? How did we get access to MW4 gameplay?"
Oh.
Like, this game legitimately looks like MW19 slash MW2, but better.
I mean, and
Um,
Call of Duty's not scared because they think that they can like, you know, stay above and not, you know, and
they
not.
aren't, but like there's stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of movement stuff in this game. Like, you can do their battlefields bring in you can lean and all that stuff. Like the stuff we don't like in COD, but like it's better in Battlefield because that's just how Battlefield is. Um, Battlefield's not trying to be anything different like COD was. Um, but one of the cool things is you can actually sprint while crouching in this game. That's actually interesting. That is kind of cool. But
It is cool.
they're okay. So what's been on the screen the whole time that we'll talk about is Battlefield actually. They actually put out an article about all the stuff you can expect in the beta
Mhm.
and like at launch. And they actually have talked about how the matchmaking is going to work, and they have listed ping as the first thing. Ping is now you have to take it with a grain of salt. 'Cause who knows? We haven't played it yet, but like if ping and the player's location are the two first priorities, we might be looking pretty good in terms of matchmaking for this game. They
Yeah.
have said that there's some skill factor, but like knowing Battlefield, I don't think their skill based matchmaking is going to be like COD's.
No.
I don't think it's going to be that intricate.
I don't think I've ever had its public matches as tight rigid as COD is. Ever.
And honestly, I think whether Battlefield is trying to compete with COD or not, I think they know that. And I
Yeah.
think that it'll be a little bit better. I think they know that people are very frustrated with the matchmaking of COD. And also, like with Battlefield, obviously it might be a little different in the AV8 modes, but like you're playing 32v32. If they really wanted to try to get as intricate as COD with the matchmaking, it would be so hard to find 64 people that had around the same skill level.
Yeah.
And like balancing the ping and like the location of the players.
Yeah.
Like,
There's just
it
too many
only makes sense that
factors.
their skill based matchmaking is more lenient.
Yeah, there's just way too many factors to consider in the way that they do it to where skill is going to play a huge role. So if you guys want a
I'm
chill
excited.
game,
I'll have to get back next week to everybody on what my thoughts are, but I will be playing the beta because the first week is this weekend. Early access on Thursday, tomorrow, and then um, I think Thursday and Friday is early access, and then Saturday and Sunday will be open beta, and then next weekend the entire like 3 or 4 days is going to be open beta. So
I might have to give
um,
that a shot. I'm not gonna lie.
it's completely free to try and play the open beta. There's not even like the one thing that like I think Battlefield is trying to build good trust in their audience again is like there aren't even any pre-order tie-ins to the beta. Like you don't to get a beta code or to play it, you don't have to pay anything.
Oh,
You don't have to pre-order the game, nothing.
I like that. I like when they do that. That way I can. It's like a free trial. I love me a good free trial. Even to a video game.
And this beta will tell me how much I play the game. But I'm excited.
Yeah. Me too. I love me a good FPS game. Especially ones that compete with Call of Duty, because I need something to like measure up, you know? I need a
Yeah,
game
I
that
really
measures
hope
up.
this game is good just for the fact that like we'll have competition with COD.
Because that's how it gets better. I mean, or
Yeah.
I have a better FPS to play. Either or, I want to win, you know? It's a win for me. It's a selfish thing at the end of the day, but hey.
I think everybody just about can agree that they want this game to be good.
Yeah.
One, because it'd be good to have a good Battlefield game again, and two, because competition within the FPS space that COD has clearly dominated for a long time because it's to the point where COD can basically just do whatever and people will buy it. So
Yeah. It's I don't know. They need something. They need something and I need better video games, I guess. Cuz I love me a good FPS, you know? Like that's kind of like what I've always played. And I keep trying to you know find them and like X Defiant and Splitgate and these ones just can't measure up and they don't survive. Whether it's this or that or
dude, it
this.
feels kind of weird to me because ever since Six Defiant died, I really haven't played FPS that much.
Yeah.
Um, I've been off FPS for the most part. It's
Yeah.
so
Sim racing and
it'll be
DBD.
it just feels weird, but like at the same time, like I want another FPS to be good because I still enjoy them. It's just like COD's just not it.
Nope.
So I'm hoping this does it. It'll feel weird tomorrow getting on it, especially because it's Battlefield, but also because I just haven't played FPS very much. But I want to have a fun time. I'm really excited. One of the things that I'm really excited about this game that I really wish COD would do, um, because I believe that this would have alleviated all the problems with the attachments in Vanguard and MW3. Um, is this game instead of having attachment slots and you just put attachments on. There are 10 attachment slots on every gun, but the way they do it is each attachment has a certain amount of points attached to them, and it's a pick 100 system. You have 100 attachment points, and each attachment has like different amounts of points set to them. Like a lot of them that don't really have that much of an impact might have like 5 or 10 points, but like ones that really could change the gun and how it works could have like 30 or 40 points. And
Oh.
you can do whatever assortment you want as long as you fill 100 or I mean heck if you don't even want to fill 100 you don't have to. But you have 100 points to work with, you do whatever you want with those. You could have 10 attachments that don't really do that much, or you could have 4 or 5 attachments that change the gun entirely.
That's cool. I like that. It's different.
It's gonna be interesting. I think there's gonna be a lot of time that people spend tomorrow just like putting attachments on guns,
Oh, for sure. I can't wait to
trying
watch.
stuff.
I can't wait to watch.
I've seen some crazy stuff, even from that reveal. I saw some people like, I saw Scump make an LMG that like he showed his controller on cam. He was not moving the stick, and it was not moving.
Nice.
It had zero recoil.
Crazy. I'm sure the loadout bids for this game is gonna be so many. There's gonna be
Dude,
so many.
I think this honestly, like, I think this system that they're doing in this game with the attachments, I think this is like the only thing probably like creative class wise that could possibly be better is like COD Pick 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that this Pick 100 attachment point system is miles better than what COD has tried to do with Gunsmith.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know, like Gunsmith I kinda liked it back in like where you had like a certain amount of like I kinda liked it in the earlier
Gunsmith was cool back in like MW19 when it first was a thing.
Yeah.
But then like Gunsmith quickly lost its luster after that game.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Call of Duty in general.
Even in
lost
that
its
game, you could
luster.
say it wasn't that great because like once
Yeah.
people figured out the thing about COD, and I mean this might happen in Battlefield 2, you never know. But like the thing about COD is when people find meta attachments, it doesn't matter what kind of like weird quirky attachments are in the game. People are just gonna use the meta attachment.
Mm-hmm.
So like the thing about Gunsmith is like, yeah, there were all these cool attachments on these guns, but like everybody used the same 4 or 5 attachments on every gun because they knew that those worked.
Yeah, so hopefully they do some like
That's another
balancing or
balancing
something.
thing with Battlefield 2 is like balancing for this game could be very different because what if an attachment is overpowered? Instead of them nerfing the attachment and making it not as useful, they could just assign more points to it, make it
More expensive.
worth more points. So you have to spend more points to put that crazy good attachment on.
And then you would lose other attachments. That actually.
So then it's like you can keep the cool overpowered attachments. You just have to pay an extra price for them.
You might have to lose one of them. Depending.
Or
like
vice
that.
versa. It's like they could put an attachment out that's like 20 points. And it's really not that good. But like to get more versatility and more use out of it, they could reduce the points. So then maybe people are like, oh, this might be useful now. I might put this on.
Yeah. True. True. It'll probably be like a playing little like slider game for a little bit on those point systems until they figure out like which ones are better and whatnot. But
I think it'll be really cool.
I think so too. Alright, Deception, anything else you want to talk about on this episode?
I think we're good.
Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Climb Together podcast. We really appreciate you. This has been episode 125. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like the podcast on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys are watching live on Twitch, make sure you guys follow both of our Twitches at twitch.tv/tonage_scorp and twitch.tv/deception276, where we stream this live every Wednesday. And thank you for being here, Hugs. We appreciate you. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Deception, say bye.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Peace.